a mistake I will address in a minute, and get my shotgun, and then yell to my wife, or then my wife yells to me, "It's the police at the front door." So that's how
he answers the door with like night vision goggles on.
That's right.
So fuck you and fuck anything you think in your mind. You did it. What up, family? This is the Decisive Element podcast with Ronnie Portillo. Now let's get it. All right, man. We're here. Welcome back.
Welcome. I know it's been a minute.
It's been a minute. Joe Stelletello is in the house. My brother who helped me get this bitch started.
Oh, man. I don't know about that.
You did, bro. Fuck you and fuck anything you think in your mind. You did it. You helped me because I was like, I forgot how the whole shit got brought up, but you were like, let's do it, man. What do you need to do? I'll help you. And I was like, okay. And then I did it. And then you were here for the 2 episodes that we did. And then, one episode. One episode started out.
First one.
Yeah. And the intro, most people don't know, like if you only watch on YouTube, the intro is on Apple and Spotify.
Okay.
So it does it because we don't have a video or nothing for that for YouTube. So it's just like, fuck it, put it up there.
Cool. Well, now they get to see who I am.
Yeah. But you helped me start this shit, bro. Like you were like a thread that like I needed that like, I hate saying like that much, but I needed that little boost. And you gave me a little on the butt cheeks. And now thank you for coming back on the 14th podcast. This is the 14th.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah. Guest wise.
That's awesome.
If you're the 15th, if you want to say the first one, but it's the 14th. I guess, never mind. I'm lying.
12. 75.
He's the 15th.
He's the 5th guest.
He's the 14th guest.
Okay, 14th guest.
You're the first combat.
Yeah. You're the first combat. First returning.
Yeah, that's cool.
Joe Stelletello, help me get this bitch on the flow. Got it really getting ready, get going. See, I'm working on my flowing too, bro.
You gotta keep doing stuff.
That's it, man. Anyways, bro, I appreciate you very much for being here. I appreciate you fucking helping me getting this bitch started, inspiring me, and then just everything that you do, man.
Yeah, well, works out. I don't know what to say to that.
Hey,
you're welcome.
He's very talkative right now. We're like, hey, we're on a podcast, bro.
Okay.
Playing.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, it's okay to speak. I will speak to that. It's like, I'm not really big on like good at taking compliments, I guess.
Yeah.
I do what I really feel is right, and like I also feel like I haven't helped you as much as I could, but like I was like, well, I can like encourage him because I know that making a podcast and making a presence requires a lot of volume, and that's why I told you, I was like, I may not be able to be on the podcast, but like I'm just here to like support you how I can.
Yeah, exactly.
And then like you need to like fucking do lots of podcasts and videos and Instagrams, and then if you need more stuff, I can do stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's what it's been. So that's why I say I appreciate you.
Yeah.
So, but we're not here talking about just me, man, because we've been here talking about you and what we gonna do. Because he's writing a book.
Oh, I did write a book. I've been trying to write a book for
how long?
I mean, I got my first degree in English literature in 2007, and I wanted to be a writer. And I was like, I'm gonna write the great American novel, and write stuff. I mean, like real. Like,
yeah.
And then I tried to be a writer for a couple of years.
Yeah. What is that? Trying to be a writer?
It means you're not getting. It's like the starving artist situation where I did write a few. If you Google me in the deep web now, because it's been a while, I got like 3 or 4 articles up on. It used to be called rockoveramerica.com.
Okay.
I don't know if it still exists. And I wrote like 1 or 2 social pieces for I don't even remember the name. Some weird like social web where you like Google it and it tells you about this place.
Gotcha.
And so those are published. And then I just realized I couldn't afford or wasn't willing to keep writing for free because I had an offer I kind of regret it because now that Rock Over America I think still exists. I probably would have been getting paid by now. Like
if you were stuck in it.
Yeah, but I was like, I'm tired of not getting paid. I got to work more hours. I was, I started working for Chili's and I was a bartender, and then I got back into martial arts more heavily and started teaching that. And then I got, 4 years later, I was like, got into education. I started teaching in 2010 or 2008. Actually, a year later, I was a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
So I think what it was is, the truth is, when people say I couldn't, or I didn't have enough time, bullshit. You have plenty of time.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to use your time or sacrifice your time for whatever that is. And I wasn't willing to sacrifice my time to eventually have money, where I had things where I could sacrifice my time and make actual money. And, I realized, like, not that I didn't want to write. I was like, but I can always come back to being a writer. And so I would write on my own time. And I've written, I have in my Google Drive and
lots
places.
Of things.
I probably have 1,000 pages of different random shit, like poems, stories. I've tried to write this book at least 3 times.
Good for you.
And what really got me to write this book and to truly finish it, and I got to type it out. I hand wrote it because I'm an English teacher first. That's my greatest skill, is being an educator. And I know that I told my students, you have to write and rewrite the same thing many times for it to be perfected. So just because I'm good at teaching something and I've written a lot doesn't mean like I don't understand it. I need to do this multiple times before it's even ready. That's why, I gave you the few chapters I finally typed out, and then I typed another chapter and I gave it to my good friend who I graduated UNLV.
Okay.
We were in the same class for English. And he's a much more, he's read a lot more. He's also single and my age, so like he has time, and I don't, I'm not saying he has more free time. So he read it and gave me some strong critiques, which it's important to take critique and understand. He was right, like all the way around. So before I keep typing it, now I'm going to go back and adjust some like higher level concepts. Like if you're an English major or you're someone that writes, or you understand, like, some things that in books that are done well, they have a consistent point of view. They have a consistent tone, like formal, informal. Gotcha. Those things, if they're mismatched, when you just write, they can become mismatched. You can have an organized thought process and an organized pattern of, like, it's very chronological the way I wrote my book. However, because of some of the stories are more analytical and some of the stories are more personal, I bounce back and forth in it between informal and formal. Well, that's not really effective for people to understand your story, because you're not very authoritative. Really, formal writing is more authoritative. And the way I'm writing the book, it's kind of like an informative, like how to become, the title for now is about being dangerously average.
So the book is called what?
It's,
as of right
now, it's dangerously average.
Dangerously average.
And why the world needs it.
Why the world needs it.
Yeah, and it may evolve. The title may evolve.
It's a good title.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like that title. I think you should not abandon it. I'm in.
I like the title. Dangerously average. Why the world needs it. Let's go, bitches.
The reason, what ultimately led me to finishing it, at least the first script, was the fact that number one, I'm in the Army National Guard, but more importantly, I'm switching jobs to the only combat MOS in Nevada, which is armor. And I have a 4, 5, and a 5-year-old and a wife.
Yep.
And the truth is, whether I ever go on deployment or anything, the potential for me to die is much higher than most of the people in Nevada. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to leave behind. And the reason I wrote it anyway, one of the big impetus to writing it, like the third time I tried, was I had started to have kids. And I wanted to leave a story behind. If I die, at least they have something that kind of explains my philosophy on life and who I am, so that if nothing else, they can read this when they're older and be like, okay, well, this is the way he did life.
Yeah.
And I'd like to read it with them, and then we can have these deep conversations, because I think it's important, and it's a legacy in its own right.
Yeah.
So I finished it because I was like, I'm coming near the end. July, I graduate OCS. God willing, I passed my field leadership exercise, which
you're passing.
I'm like very confident without being cocky, and I'm always like, I need to do more, which I will, but they already kind of said we've done a lot of practice exercises on op boards and whatnot, and they're like, yeah, you'll be all right. So we're gonna actually this coming up soon, we're doing a 4-day field where we do the full thing, like practice, nice. And then we do it again in June. So I'm gonna keep working.
And the ceremony's in September, August.
August.
Yeah, August.
Yeah,
August 6th,
17th.
17. I'm all fucked up.
I don't know. I don't keep dates in my head that are way ahead because they change. But that shouldn't change. And I hope you'll be there so you can give me my first salute, and I can give you
the goal.
Give you $1.
That's the goal, bro.
But after that, it's Bullock, and then
the 14th.
I heard. Yeah.
It's in the calendar. Sorry.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep.
But yeah, and then some of the units are up for deployment soon. I know it's non-combat related, and I don't know how much. I'm not going to give out details because I don't think we're allowed to. But so it's a potential, and so that whole information that I was given, whether it's true or not, it was the impetus. I'm like, well,
it's always potential if you're in, man.
Yeah, and so now it's about making it presentable, a good story, and actually publishable. And if it never gets publishable, at least I can give it to my wife when I leave.
The great thing about these days is you can self-publish all you want. Sure. Everyone says fuck you, but try to get published first, right?
I really want to get published the traditional way. Like, I may self-publish, but I think people, it's the easy route. And I've never taken the easy route for anything. So, like a traditional physical book.
No, that's good. Yeah, I would say to do that too. Try.
I'm going to. It's going to happen,
or work it.
Or
we don't try on this bitch. We do or do not.
But you gotta all the greatest movies or anything. They always get turned down by pitch at pitch meetings and things like that.
Yeah,
you know
so that's I don't count
20,
on that
30
shit.
times.
Yeah. I'm sure every Quentin Tarantino movie at one point before he became big was like, what, you want to do what? And you want to film it like this? Like, what? No, we're not doing that.
Bunch of
I fully expect to get rejected many, many times.
Oh, fuck it. We'll keep showing up.
But the why behind it is about my kids now have my story.
Yeah, they have something there that you can go.
Up until they were born, and now they're living the story with me, so I don't feel like I need to write a lot of that. Although I have written up to just about now because they're 5 and 6, so now they're starting to remember.
Yeah.
So that's where it's at. Now I got some work to do, and my buddy Mike, which someday you might want to have him on here. He's actually an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. Has a couple of businesses. His brother has a business. He runs both of them. He'd be a cool guy. I'll have to connect you guys. He's my best friend. Thrown up out of the car, calling at 2 in the morning because the police are I'm rambling. I don't remember. Apparently I was on the strip and the police, I gave them it was the only number I had at the time, and they're like, yeah, I'm your friend here, and he had to come get me from funny. I don't know which casino.
Hell yeah.
So
Joe living life back in the day, bro.
He's done some stuff. Done some stuff.
I was gonna say, are you the kind of person that when they see cops when they're drinking, they're like, "Hey, what's up?" You try and talk to them.
Yeah. I'm not. I have very little fear. I mean, I respect, but not fear. Yeah.
You're psychopathic over here.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I have friends like that too, but every time I'm always like, "Bro, quit talking."
Shut up.
Chill out, bro. Yeah. Can I be over here by myself?
I'm the guy that was handcuffed. This is another story I could get. Ended up getting handcuffed face down on my driveway at 2:30 in the morning, and was talking with the gun. Cops had a gun on me and my wife, mind you, and I was trying to talk to the guy with the gun on me about what's going on, and just kind of see who he was. That's me, and it was all a big misunderstanding. And I guess maybe I should explain this story.
I was gonna say,
why did you have a gun on you?
I was gonna say you're I know you a decent amount, but I don't know you that well. So even me, I'm kind of raising an eyebrow the
Rock. There I was. So 2 a.m. pounding on my door. And we go to sleep early in the Stelletello household because, number one, we have little kids and get up stupid early because they're little. And I don't know, little. I think God has a sense of humor because he makes kids get up really early.
They get up, they go to bed.
No matter what. They can go to bed at midnight and still get up at 6, and you're like, what the? And because if that,
they'll nap.
And then they'll just take a nap later because they can nap whenever they want. Little bastards.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? Why do kids have so much energy? Because they can nap and stop whenever they choose, and adults cannot.
Go to bed.
Adults can't. That's really ultimate. It's not like some secret.
I will one day, bro.
So 2 a.m. banging on the door.
2 a.m.
And so, what's my first reaction? Somebody's trying to break my fucking door down. Yeah. So I go I tell my wife to look out the peephole and call the police, see what's going on. And I go into the garage, flick the light on, a mistake I will address in a minute, and get my shotgun, and then yell to my wife, or then my wife yells to me, it's the police at the front door. I was like, oh shit. So I put my shotgun down, like I have like a weightlifting platform. I put it like on the plates that are piled up on there, and I go and I open the door. They got guns drawn on both of us, so I come out slowly, blah blah blah. You know, show us your hands, and then they get your knees, handcuff us, then we lay. They're like, lay down on the ground, or get your knees, and then they lay down and we handcuff us. They're not like, they didn't really touch us until they handcuff. This is like mid-COVID. This was, I don't know if this was before the podcast or not. So I'm sitting there, and my wife's like, oh my God. I'm like, the whole time I'm like, babe, it's fine, calm down. I mean, we did have like guns pointed at us, but I guess I'm a little bit trusting. I also just don't, if I die, I'm going to heaven, so I die. But, you know, I don't want them to shoot me. So they're like, do you have any other firearms or weapons, or I don't know what word they used. I was like, yes, they're in the safe. And they asked me that like 5 times. I was like, I have a Glock, I have this, I have that, you know, like, in the safe, besides the shotgun. So what happened, the reason they knew this was because I'm dumb. And I turned the garage light on. Well, there's a window in the corner of my garage. And at night, I have these blackout
can
things.
See inside.
Blackout, like, but it's only if there's light coming in. But if there's no light on the outside, they don't reflect. So then it's like, boom. So they saw me turn the light on, and then they probably were watching. Granted, it's good that it happened, because if I had gone out the side door, which I guarantee they weren't covering, with my shotgun and pointing it at them, we may not be having this podcast right now.
Yeah.
So that was good that happened. Also, though, from now on, I understand that if I'm going to go get my gun, if somebody's painting on my door, I'm not turning any lights on in the garage. I'm going to sneak my ass in there. Bro. Yeah. So, or I need to block those windows. So that's how
he answers the door with like night vision goggles on.
That's right.
He's ready to go, bro.
Second thing I learned after talking to a good friend of mine is I should have just asked if they had a warrant and told them if they didn't to get the hell out of here, because I guarantee they didn't have a warrant. I shouldn't have let them in. There's no reason so. The best part of this story, and this is one of the reasons I'm a Christian, like very strong in my faith, besides, is because I see miracles in everyday things. The sergeant that eventually came after we got unhandcuffed, he walks in, he's like, wait, are you guys Milo's parents?
Yeah.
Okay, Milo's my son, right?
Yeah. My
son goes to preschool down the street. His wife is the registrar for that school.
Oh, no way.
And he's like, oh my God, I'm sorry that, like, he was all like, nicest guy, 19-year veteran. I ended up talking to him later about.
Wait, why were the cops there?
Yeah, what
so
happened?
That's what I was like. He's like, we got a response, but we weren't really sure. So he's like, He's like, they thought. So he went through the video like for hours. He said after that, I like had to figure out what was going on. Some lady had like a distress call, but it was for house 136 and we're 126, but you couldn't really tell. They couldn't really tell, so they just went. They thought they heard 126, so they came to the house. It was like a disturbance, like potential domestic or something, right? Greatest part about this is, besides the fact that, I don't know if I won't say his name just because he's a really cool guy, great guy, was that my kids never woke up the whole time. They both stayed asleep. They even, an officer went upstairs and just make sure they were okay. Yeah. They have no idea this ever happened.
Oh, nice.
They were like foreign. I'm like, that's a miracle. The fact that the sergeant for Henderson Police that came was, where my son goes to school. It was her husband. Like all those things. I'm like, holy, those are miracles.
Vegas is a small town, man. You fucking yeah.
Not that's
dope.
That's the only time police have had a gun pointed at me. I've been shot at when I was doing like in high school, going to illegal races. Not directly.
Yeah.
Because stupid people do dumb stuff. But anyways, so that's the story. Well, I don't know where I was going with that.
I don't know why we were talking about it either, but it was a cool story.
Yeah. I don't know either.
So that's how I...
Yeah, you know what it was?
Well, that's my cop story.
You dropped like a little hint of it, and then we were like, okay, we need to
unpack
dive deeper.
Yeah. What is that? And that's all I got to say about that. But yeah, Dan, so the book, what is the theme? What is the fucking... How has been writing the book? Let's talk about that first.
It felt really good when I was like, I think I can stop here. Like, I think this is enough to have like my first...
Yeah.
I don't feel it's finished, but it's finished enough.
Yeah.
And it's like the heart of it and all the, not necessarily the details, because as I type, I add stuff.
Yeah, of course.
And I purposely said, but like the main thing, if I died tomorrow, I could give this to my, or somebody could give this to my wife, or you could be like, hey, I told her about it, but it's on like 2 yellow steno notepad. It's there. So like that was like a big, also just like, it's not finished, but it's finished. I was like, oh. But
well, just fucking, I'm like, acknowledging the accomplishment you did.
Yeah,
like feels good. God
feels
damn
good,
it, I did that, bitch. Now I'm like, ever since you told
now
me to write, I was like,
I
gotta write my book, bro. I got a book to write.
I mean, everybody I think has a book. Everybody has a book.
In time.
So, like when it's called Dangerously Average, or that's the working title right now. Like, so what? I'm just, because I have no idea what it's about, or like what anything like
what
that.
is it?
I'm curious. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm sure people. Maybe you could give like a little brief summary, not like to give anything away, because I'm sure you get more into detail within the book. But
and then we'll obviously
just for
go
people
more in detail when you fucking comes out, and then we're like, bro, come back on.
I'm just curious
for
for people listening. You know, they're probably curious too.
Yeah. Sorry, I get sidetracked. I have a lot of stories. So Dangerously Average, the concept is, and this is going to be, it's going to be like consistently throughout the book mentioned, whether or not that's the title. And the idea is that, to be honest, if people are honest, even like super high speed people like David Goggins, okay, he's a good example. There's a lot of things he's probably very average at. And if you had to sum up all of the things that he's done, and not quantitatively, but just like if you listed them all, most of them would probably be average. Obviously not running, not military, but like, I mean, I would say he's a below average husband, because he's had like 3 or 4 wives.
I don't know.
No, for sure he has. So he's not average when it comes to that. So it's kind of celebrating the fact that average is okay, but at the same time, you shouldn't be settle with being average. You should be dangerously average. Like, know that, like, I go through the book, and if you can't see me, I'm not standing or anything, but I'm like 5'7". I say 5'8" because I'm a little over 5'7", but really if you round it up, you wouldn't round up mathematically. I'd be more like 5'7". I'm 145, 50 pounds. I'm below average height, weight, etc. than the average man. I think the average man's like, what, 5'10" or something?
Yeah, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, and but if you didn't look at my stature and you looked at my numbers for powerlifting, as an amateur, I'm like 2 steps away from professional when I was at my best, and I was purely in powerlifting for my weight class. Yeah. So I'm above average in like strength and ability, and that took a lot of work, obviously, to get there. So the book it's a chronological explanation of my life. Although I don't really go into a lot with my childhood and stuff, because I think that was not important. The book is about me as a dad, as an adult, and what that's like, so that my kids have some kind of archetype understanding of who I am. Okay. But I mean, it goes into like certain little things that led to that. But it's about, celebrating the fact that, okay, so I'm average. Well, what can I do? What can I do to be more than that? A little bit more. Mm-hmm. Or what can I do that, like, I look average, and why that's a really good thing if I want to protect people in the world. Some of the things I talk about in there, and these are not concepts that are new by any means. I mean, people like Tim Kennedy, who has a whole sheepdog response, and what's the guy that wrote On Killing and On Combat? Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman, retired. Talk about these same concepts, but I'm putting it more in a like average day person, because you hear Tim Kennedy, pro MMA fighter, Green Beret, and like, I'm not going to be like that. Well, I'm none of those things right now. Yeah. I'm about to graduate and be an officer. Cool. Yeah. I'm going to be a tank guy. I probably will never be SF. Yeah. Because I like my family more. Yeah. Too much, and I don't have time.
What's SF?
Special Forces. Yeah, right. Yeah. Sorry, I shouldn't use acronyms.
No, you're good. It's just
good point.
I'm giving the civilian,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Please do. And so, the book is written to be like, what should most people that are average, number one, not be happy? Why shouldn't be happy with average, but also happy at the same time? But like my purpose in life is, I feel like I'm a protector. And I think men in general, that's kind of...
It's one of theirs.
It's something that all men, I feel like, and even women, now especially, but like parents, citizens of the world, you want to protect the people around you, especially if you see injustice or people being exploited. How can you make yourself a little bit better at number one, keeping yourself safe, and number 2 or 3, keeping other people around you that you care about safe. Because I don't think anybody's like, unless you're like a psychopath, you're like, fuck everybody. You can be super narcissistic, but you still have people that you care about.
Yeah.
So if you start out from that, most people will be average. You're going to be an average size. You're going to be average intelligence. You're going to be an average thing. And I know we see the world from social media and everything as very black and white. Like, average is bad, or you got to be a YouTuber. You got to be. And most of the kids that I've worked with for 12 years, they want to be like excellent and professional and high level and high speed and awesome. The truth is, and some people get mad at me when I tell kids. I don't tell kids this directly, but I try to give them perspective that like you're not gonna probably be like the odds are so against your being a famous.
Yeah.
Like you could be a successful YouTuber, but you're not gonna be like Joe Rogan. Like there's one of Joe Rogans. You're probably not gonna be a professional athlete.
Yeah.
There's so few of those. Like if you really want to do that, maybe it's gonna take extraordinary amount of work. Like in 8th grade, I'm going to be a pro. There's a lot that goes into that. Special forces, high level people, that's actually more attainable, I would say, in a way. But the things that people highlight in the world of social media, in the world on the news, of like the best successful people, that's like so few. 300 million people in the United States. And
that's what I think people need to define their success.
Right.
What actually are they looking for? Like, what is it? Like, it's me, it's just, I just want fucking freedom to do whatever the fuck I want.
Sure.
And that doesn't mean like, when I mean freedom, it's kind of like, I want to wake up on my own time. I want to go to bed on my own time.
I love that.
I ain't got to go to be here or there. It's like whatever schedule I want to make. Yeah. Me and fucking Mustache Mike want to do a podcast at 9:30 in the morning. Yeah. Or at 11 or at 1 or at fucking midnight. There's no repercussions for what we got to do tomorrow, like.
Right.
Yeah, it feels good.
Just to be able to do whatever we want.
Freedom of schedule.
Yeah. Freedom of choice. I don't care about having a fucking jet and fly me anywhere all the time, even though that's cool too. But it's like, really, it just comes down to if I can make the same amount of money I'm making now and have the same type of lifestyle.
But your schedule is.
But
is
I'm
your
in control of my whole life. Then I'm fucking good.
That seems. And that's important. And I know that about you because I know you.
Yeah.
I've known you a little while now, sorry.
No, you're good.
And
with whatever you're going.
Well, but is the negative. I try to not use buts because it's like if you say something then but you negate what just was said.
I've been saying with that said.
With that or with
that said,
to add to what you have said.
Yeah.
Well, I never heard that, but that makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah. Anytime it says but, it kind of throws all the shit.
People stop listening. Or they forget the whole first thing, everything before the but.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, well.
Or they say, I guess none of that matters because you said but. So
I guess you'd have to strategically use it.
Yeah.
Because it's maybe you had like a precursor thought to something and then you had an afterthought.
Yeah.
And so like it kind of did in a way negate that previous thought. So maybe in that way you could use but if you're trying to be like, yo, no, this is my initial thought. But now it's not.
But not just like in regular conversations. Like he's not trying to overthrow. We're not trying to overthrow. It's like, with that said, let me add to that. Or in addition or some shit like that.
Our purpose here is like educate and help people. So I don't want to negate what you're saying. And that's the kind of the thing is like, yeah, you may be average. But going back to the book is like, that's the whole concept is like, just because you're average in many things, you can be a little bit more.
There's something you're good at, man.
Yeah, and like pick those things to be a little bit more average. And my book is about me being a better than average protector, a better than average human. And that's what dangerously average is. Is,
it's like dangerous average.
Yeah.
You gotta
dangerously average.
Yeah, you go. Yeah.
And and it's good to be a little dangerous, but the average exploit that. It is like if you're talking about experiences or situations where there's criminals or bad people, they exploit people that show weakness or like sheep. And I talk about that, and it's like I want to look average so that I can conceal, and they don't pick me as a target if I need to shoot a bad guy, right? If I'm out shopping. They don't see me as versus, and in Nevada we see this is like the guys that they always got their pistol on their hip. Open carry, it's legal. go for it, man. But I guarantee if some crazy asshole comes into the store, you're the first guy they're going to go after because they see your fucking gun.
Even before you know it's happening.
Right. And they probably might, and likely they're coming to this store with whatever crazy purpose. Maybe somebody that broke their heart works there or whatever, or they just want to kill a bunch of people. And if you're the guy and for whatever reason you're not paying attention and they see your gun as they're coming in, you're the first guy they're going to take out just in case.
Yes.
So I don't want people to know. And, you know, bigger people, no offense to any large buff dudes, but you're kind of more of a target for if someone wants to, if they're trying to do bad things.
No offense taken.
No, I mean, you're so strong, Mike. You're so strong.
Sorry, Mike.
Mike's big on muscles.
Excessive height.
I only got the height. I gave up on working out.
It does make you stick out sometimes.
I want to get 210.
Yeah,
210.
Yeah, there was a point where I was like, oh, I'm going to be 210 pounds.
Sweet.
Yeah,
and then
I gave
a lot
up.
of protein shakes.
Yeah, I don't like eating.
I went to Japan. That was the only time I was like tall when I trained. I trained martial arts in Japan. It's in the book. Yeah. I did. And I was like, fucking huge in Japan, man. I'm huge. I am literally huge. I would get on the train and see see the tops of everyone's heads.
What?
It was I don't know if it's still that way. This was 20 years ago.
That's what. When I hang out with my roommates' family, I feel super tall.
Oh yeah.
They're none of them are like above 5'10".
Damn.
I'm gigantic to them.
Yeah. It was a cool experience.
I'm sure it was.
So
that's a good perspective to put too, because how other people feel.
And so that's kind of the whole thing. I mean, it's way more than that, but it's just like, it also, part of the underlying impetus and expression is don't settle with being average.
Yeah.
Especially if there's things you really value, pick those things and exploit them and find ways to be better. My values.
So those are things that got to be discovered. What do you value?
Yeah. And know that what's important to you.
Yeah.
And then, and be okay with being average. But, if you really, want to protect your kids, man, go do a few classes.
Be okay at being average. But if you ain't doing shit, start doing something.
Yeah, because you will stay and you'll you'll go backwards, really.
Yeah.
I think that
if you ain't growing, you're dying. Inflation, bitch, is for everything.
Very true.
I think that a lot of people, they feel like they'll see these people like you're talking about, YouTubers, whatnot. And they think, oh man, I don't have that. But what it really is, like I noticed even just in personal life, people who kind of pursue things, they're almost like blissfully ignorant. They don't believe, or like they're so like arrogant that they think that they can, run something or do something. And in a way, it works out for them in the better versus someone who like acknowledges that they're not that great. They might not pursue something, right?
Yeah.
So in your, like what you're saying with the dangerously average, you are like kind of telling people like, look, just be this, and maybe this is just the way I'm perceiving it. Like everyone is average. It's just whether or not you do something with your averageness or you push it farther and farther, whatever it may be,
Right.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, like I mean, the difference between someone who does really well, like Tom Brady has an insane. It's kind of a weird comparison, but Tom Brady has an insane, if you look at his diet and his regimen, and if you look at guys like Antonio Brown, it's all football players. This is a way I can give a good analogy.
Keep going.
But like, with those kind of guys, the reason that they do so well is because they just push farther and farther. At one point, they were average. Look at Antonio Brown's like 5'9" maybe, and he, he's no Randy Moss. He's not like 6'5". He was able to pursue, and now he got a Super Bowl and all this stuff.
Yeah,
this past year. So like, I don't know. That's what I'm taking away from what you're talking about,
man. Like it's most time for me. It's just like just showing up. Just keep doing it. You're going to get him. We have this belief that I'm average, and like you said earlier, it seems that that's not good. But it's just like, bro, just for my thing, it's like find the niche that sparks you to do whatever that is, and you don't need to be great at everything.
No.
But it's like I want to say but, and I use but intentionally because it's like you still, I feel people get, and what really stuck that out to me one time, I got really obsessed with the stock market and learning options and trading and all this stuff, and it would always blow my mind how people have money, but their families are shit, like their relationships are shit, some people don't like working with them, or like there just seems stories that, you know, everyone heard those stories. And I was watching this video, and it's just like they figured out one part of their life. You know, only one.
And they gave up on all
but
the
other ones are just like, fuck it. You know, and that's just like the type of thing. You only have a certain amount of energy. You only have a certain amount of time. Like realistically, you only have a certain amount of time to be here. So it's like, what are you going to do with the time that you have?
Right.
You know, and what are you going to do with the things that you really liked and really inspired and get you into that bliss state, get you to enjoy? And how do you make your life more of that? And I feel like that's what Dangerously Average is in my mind. It's just like, go after what you want, be the person it is. And you don't need to be flaunty, bro. Like, just like their example with the pistol, like CCW. I can be this thing, but not.
I don't need to tell everybody about it.
Yeah.
It's for me. It's not for anybody else.
Exactly. Ooh. So then it goes back to you, bro.
It's for me. And for me, like, the biggest thing is, what did God put me, as a Christian, what did God put me on the planet to do?
Yeah.
Why am I here? To serve him in every way I can.
Got you.
And so one of those things is he made me ability to suck it up, do really hard shit, and kind of enjoy like hard stuff.
Yeah, you enjoy it.
I do. I'm kind of, I would say almost masochistic, but I just want to know. I really, most of the time, the things I've done in my life and in that book and continue to do is like, there's a part of me that's like, I don't know if I'm going to, I'm pretty sure I can do it.
It's like always
let's see. Let's find out.
Yeah.
You know, and I won't purposely fail. The only way I'm failing is if like I physiologically or just like I fail because I
can't.
Like I physically am like unable or whatever. I don't meet the standard. But I have yet to find anything where I knock on wood that I've really just like. I never given up.
But
I guess,
but never. I was about to say you never given up, and you keep learning from the lessons.
Right.
God damn it, we're gonna fail our way to success.
Yeah, and granted, you know, some of that is most of it's hard work, and some of that is a little bit of luck. And I would say miracles and stuff.
Yeah,
you know, there are situations that you don't control.
There's ripples.
But most of the time,
happen.
it's I do excessive amount of thinking and preparing and I like train and look at what it took for other people, and I'm like, well, and then you know, it's very true though. You look at what someone else did and be like, well, if he can do it, most of the time, if he can do it, I can do it. I may not be able to do it at his level.
Yeah,
like,
but that's anybody.
There's hundreds of people, probably thousands of people that have done triathlons, all this stuff. I mean, millions. Maybe not at the level of like Goggins or the high level professionals, but they do it.
You know, my thing is, I feel what people try to mimic somebody else. It's like, I like what they did. I want to do exactly what they did. But you can, but it might not be in that category.
You're not them.
Yeah, and it's not that category.
Sure.
It could be something totally different.
Yeah.
Find the thing that just makes you want to keep doing the shit, and you enjoy it, and then never give up.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Is I think the world is so, especially with technology in the last 20 years, it's all about how fast do I get to this thing, and it's like, no, it's not about that. It's like and we were talking about this.
This morning. Well,
it's
this
a
morning
journey,
you kind of
the
You texted me that shit this morning.
What was it?
Hevel.
It's Greek. It's a Hebrew word. Let me look. I sent it to.
I
don't have social media, by the way, so I literally text like 6 or 8 people that I think will actually want to listen to what I have to say, and then they give me like, they're people I trust with what I have to say. Yeah. So Hevel. I'm not a Hebrew scholar, but I read the Bible every day. It's my like centering piece. And Hevel, it means vapor or something. It's an idea of like something you can grab onto, but as soon as you try to it disappears.
Yes.
And in Ecclesiastes in the Bible, that basically says that all is Hevel, achieving success, because it gives the analogy of like the mountains will be the mountains. When you're dead and gone, they're probably not going to know your name. They're not going to be.
Maybe you, but.
You know.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
That rock going to know my shit, bro.
Yeah, like I'm going to write my name on that freaking mountain, bro.
With piss.
even Mount Rushmore will eventually be,
sure.
something will happen.
Yeah.
To
So
it.
everything, so the whole concept from when you text me, it's going away.
Right.
Like, you can't grab this life. The more you try to grab it, the more it's like constructive. You just got to, Colette's podcast, talk about going with the river, the flow. Yeah. You know, you just got to cruise with the river.
Yeah. That analogy really did, like, I love that.
It was so good.
Yeah.
You can't swim fucking up river. You're going to get tired out. You're going to burnt out. No matter what, the river's going that way.
And keep going.
Oh, and you got to learn. I think, you know, in a capitalist culture, we talked about that too. It's like we get so in swimming up the river, and then we find out this is not the way I really want to go or need to go. And then we turn around and we start going down river, but then we're also like, I need to go down river, and I'm determined to get there. It's just like, bro, relax, you know? And then she was like, hey, homie, what'd she say? And a friend's going to throw me a floaty, and then I'm just going to float.
Takes your
and go with it. Enjoy the journey, because what you're saying is like, Hevel.
Yeah.
It's like you can't grasp a cloud. You can't grasp these things. Like time in this reality, on this human plane, on what we're living right now, is going, and my face is changing. Things are growing.
Yeah.
Hevel is my favorite font on Microsoft Word.
Oh, it's a font? Oh, that's cool.
No, I don't know.
It sounds like
Helvetica. Remember?
Oh, Helvetica.
Yeah.
That's what I thought it was.
Hevel.
And so
it's a nice word. Hevel.
Ultimately, like, and it going along with everything you said, it just means to live in the day. That's the gift God gives you. The day is yours to enjoy, because you don't know the future.
Nope.
And the past is already gone.
Yep.
The mountains will be there when you die, whether you're super famous or not. Eventually, the mountains are going to stay and you're not. And all the things you did. I mean, there's so many millions of famous people that have gone through and made great things. Yes. But most of them we don't really know.
Yeah.
Unless we take the time, you know,
to look into it.
So instead of worrying about how famous you're going to be, do the things that make the day good. Be the best at that for the day. Like
God
what is given
Jordan Peterson
to you
comes to mind again.
What's given to you for that day? What's given you for that day? Be the best at that day.
Yeah.
At those things. And it doesn't mean like to take a concept out of scripture or out of high level philosophical text. They're never like, this is it, one and done.
They're myth.
It's all, you know, it doesn't mean you don't plan for the future and stuff, but you know, the kind of philosophical idea is like, you really only have the moment in front of your face.
That's it.
And so I did want to tell you, remember I said I wanted to talk about what I talked to my wife about when I was coming here.
Perfect.
And so I'd like to segue into that.
Yeah.
So I've had I've been talking to you about it.
Yeah.
And a few people, and I actually go to a counselor once a month.
Nice.
Which is cool.
I
for
go
my
twice
own
a week.
one headspace.
Every 2 weeks.
I have like this guilt thing with not being with my family because I'm gone a lot, so I have to struggle with it. But you know, no one wins argument. But she said something to me this last couple of days ago when I went, and it was just like your presence is a little different. And so, you know, I don't want to get too caught up in my thing. But what it is I've kind of been getting better at stepping into other people's shoes and saying much less, like being a true silent professional, like some of the stuff I text you. And today we're on the way here, and I'm trying to be in tune with other people, and instead of like forcing my way, like understanding them and then like being like, oh, tell me about that. But like actually, my goal is my wife. I want her to be my best friend. She is my best friend, but I really want her to be able to talk to me and me not say anything. Instead, try to fix it, because that fucks everything up when you're trying to fix shit, especially with your wife. Like, I'm gonna fix you. I'm not your therapist.
You're not a savior, bro.
Sometimes people they want you have to almost like ask, like, do you want advice on this, or do you want me just listen?
Yeah,
we talked about that. It's like, hey, you know, when people, it's well, finish your story. We'll talk about it.
So it was cool. Like I had this this little epiphany. Like poof. I was like, she's texting me even, but like I had this. I was like, I could tell by the way she was responding. It was very short. And like, it's weird.
You could feel it.
And so I called her. I was like, you seem a little bit irritated. Tell me what's going on. She's like, yeah, well, you know, because I was the tutoring thing. And I was tutoring while she's like, well, before you would say things like, oh, I can't do that for the podcast. And I'm like, okay, I kind of see where you're going. You know, tell me more. And she's like, I don't really know. And I was like, okay, well, like with the kids kind of stuff. She's like, yeah, you neglect them because you had to do, but now you're doing a podcast and you're going to do tutoring but you can do both. And I was like, well, I see where you're going. I said, you know, it has changed a little, and you know that, you know, I haven't really had kids tutoring for the last few weeks. So you just kind of sit there and just like want to know what I'm doing. And she's like, well, and I was like, but I understand where you're coming from. I could see, you know, like I'm not trying to do that. And she's like, just forget it, because like really Milo was just a pain in the ass when I got off school, and he was really hard. He's been fighting her, like he wants to play after school more. Yeah. And so just don't worry about it. And I was like, was like, well, I understand what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from. And all right. And then she started, like, the kids were doing something. So she's like, I was like, I'm gonna let you go. She's like, okay, bye. So, you know, there was no closure necessarily, but it was just kind of like I let her be heard. I didn't really defend myself a little bit, but I was very sensitive about it because nobody wins a fight and nobody wins an argument. And ultimately, both of you are pissed at each other. So I was like, my goal is to not be mad and to really, truly want to know why you're upset and not care about. And like, as a Christian, and we'll go back to that because it's like the frame where I come from. Christ said, turn the other cheek. And so I'm really trying to, with my wife, I'm the most defensive and because I'm the most safe at home. But I'm really trying to turn the other cheek and let her square me one on the cheek. No, I'm tough.
Why do you think you're the most defensive?
Because I'm safe at home. Because I love my wife, and I know that even if I'm mad, or even like she knows me better than most people, and I feel like I can get mad and it's gonna be okay.
Yes,
but you're the philosophy guy, like so. Tell me what I'm not figuring out.
I feel what I've experienced in myself when those things happen. It's because from my experience, your significant other knows all the shit about you.
That's true.
So you can't defend because you know it's undefendable because they see your bullshit. So it's like what I've learned and what I've tried to do is just like I need to be okay and listen to what she is telling me.
And validate it.
Yeah. Well, not so much validate it, but at least
if it's true.
But at least I need to open. Because this is the person who wakes up next to me, watches, everything, all the shit that living with somebody brings. Your significant other is like your top mirror. It's a mirror. Yeah. You're gonna deal with all your bullshit in a relationship.
Yeah, and for me,
period. And it comes up no matter what. And it's because you love those people.
Really?
So when they tell you something and it's fucking real, but like you naturally want to fucking rebel. Like, yeah, you want to defense and you want to get real.
Like,
but if I would tell you the same thing,
I'd
tell
probably
you
be
that
like,
shit,
sure,
you'd be like, damn,
fuck,
I didn't see it that way.
Let me
look at it this way. Your wife tell you that shit, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Rah!
So right.
And then it's really learning. For me, it's just like, how do I learn to communicate with the people that I love the most? And these are the ones that I value the most. So how do I do the internal work? And it's just really about feeling safe within inside yourself. Like I can hold two, we all have like, I don't want to project, but I know a human experience and myself, we hold two different ideas and there's like an internal conflict that happens sometimes. Well, that happens with the wife and husband or any type of relationship. The same type of thing happens. But we got to be able to have conversations and not be entitled. What I've been learning in a relationship is, we might still be upset about some type of conversation that's happening and we're not done with that conversation. But that doesn't mean I can't give you a hug and be excited that you're leaving and I hope you have a great day.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't mean I can't fucking kiss you while you leave. I feel like it's normal that...
Even if you don't really feel like doing it.
I feel like doing it's a thing. Yeah, I guess so.
Sometimes
you have to come up with habits, right?
Yeah.
Or, just...
Sometimes like, well, who knows what's going to happen when I leave? I want to at least kind of leave you something nice.
No, exactly. Well, the basis is love. That's what I've come back to. Like, the home is a safety place full of love. I'm with my kids. I'm with my spouse, my wife, whatever the hell you got. That place should be filled with love. So even if there's arguments, the world is made on chaos and arguments and frustration,
the
right?
Dichotomy,
all
black
this
and
stuff.
white.
But why can't we love each other through that? So it's like it's really learning how to love unconditionally.
Sure.
Because if you get mad and have conversations with people and you're always frustrated and if you only give love to somebody who's doing the things that you want them to do, that is called conditional love.
Unconditional, right? Yeah, unconditional.
No, that's called conditional love.
No, the goal is unconditional.
But the goal is unconditional. So if you're getting married, the goal, literally in the phrases and everything, it's about being unconditional love. So why, when we're upset, is it normal to be like, I'm not talking to her right now?
Yeah, no. My wife's good at that, though. She is.
Yeah, it's a learned behavior. It's a societal behavior, and so we're all learning how to get better, man. But that's my little shit. Yeah, I feel like it's a great thing that you're learning that, man, because it's I was talking to my homie today, and I was like, bro, ask questions. Yeah. The way to change an argument typically is to
control your
questions.
Freaking tone, man. Because my wife's super sensitive to tone, and I'm not personally sensitive to how I express my tone. I'm better now.
Good.
But I got only a few tones. I'm like not super Like I'm not super emotionally in tune, but like you could say the same thing with the wrong tone, and like she didn't hear a word I said, but she's fucking pissed.
Everybody hears tone, not fucking words, right? It's like the
words
message,
are second.
Yeah, the words. It's we were talking once again. Colette, I think it was Colette's podcast. We're talking. Words are a lot about energy. What you're saying, you're trying to describe.
Body language, too.
It's really what you're saying is. So it's kind of like it's a feeling too, not just I'm hearing these thoughts and this is what it is. It's like, what do you mean when you said so good?
Yeah, or you scoffed, or you like rolled your eyes and stuff. Like, that's like the death. I didn't even know I rolled my eyes.
Communication is 90% fucking body, bro. But yeah, man, I think that's a great thing that you're learning, and it's
it's think important. After 7, almost 8 years of marriage, or 10 being with my wife 10 years, it takes a while.
Bro, I just hit 12 years, bro. So like I feel like this last year, COVID and all this, like it really just went, I'm like, damn. We're not even the same people, bro.
That's being dangerously average as a good husband and father, too.
Yeah.
And that's something I talk about.
Hell yeah. We can talk about fatherhood because that's the thing that I have, like...
that's hard.
It is hard.
That's the best hard job ever.
Yeah, man. And that kind of happened to me yesterday at the wife. She's like, I'm doing all these other stuff. It's like, what are you doing at home, man? Like, we need to get, the patterns at home and keep doing that. It's just like, oh, you're right. Like, I know. I'm like, what are you trying to do right now? Like, And it's not like our kids are doing great, but it's just kind of like what's the next step? What's the next step? What is the things that we're trying to accomplish and do for them and get them growing and meditating at young and doing physical exercise? Because they get pulled onto those fucking games, bro.
The kids aren't there yet. Well, they do use the iPads and stuff.
Yeah, so but we get that. Yeah, it's just like stop.
It gets worse as it gets older.
We try to do it an hour a day. That's it. Sure. But it is a mission and all my friends, or they have a Discord with their cousins, and their cousins are on that, and then they want to go here, and then their friend texts them on the iPad.
It got worse over COVID, too.
It's just like, God damn it.
It's still COVID.
No, it's over. Me and Mike talk about that. COVID is over. Shout out to Mike coming up with that one.
That's a good one.
But yeah, man, it's a fathering is a fucking over and over again, and
now you got to be able to say you're wrong too, and that's really hard for us men, us soldiers. I'm not fucking wrong. I'm wrong a lot, actually.
A lot. That's the thing. So it's normal. So
normal.
Get it normal. That hey, like that's the thing. We're back to unconditional love. We think it's not normal to fail.
And say you're sorry.
And to say, hey, like, I'm sorry. But genuinely say sorry?
Like, yeah, like, how am I going to get my son to say sorry if I never... when I'm actually wrong, if I never show him... Like, kids don't... I talk a lot anyway.
Yeah.
I could talk to my son all I want. If I want him to be or do something, I have to be the one... he watches me do it when I'm not... When I don't think he's... That's it. Like, legit... Because I said, I'm like, I tell him all the time, you're not listening. But he does stuff that I do, and sometimes stuff I don't want him to do, and I'm like, "Fuck, I do that." You can see
through the actions, not so much of the words, but they pick up the behavior. So it's just like, what? It's just a fucking reminder again, bro. You're never off as a dad right now. Like it's just like, and the wife were talking to us yesterday. Like we're supposed to eliminate our job. We're supposed to eliminate it because we're supposed to get to a point where the kid's self-sufficient. We're like, he or she can go through. Deal with conflict and these crazy circumstances and actually thrive, and it's a journey, man. Having kids is a fucking like my kids 12 and 8, man. It's just like, oh man, it's just like consistent reminders of what I got to get onto, what I got to be, and
but you can, and if you, I think, like going kind of circling back a little, if you really want to be a really good father and husband, you try to, and this is if you want to be a good leader too, which is you try to if you're leading people, you need to put yourself in their perspective, like, and think the way that so like, I know my wife's gonna be a little irritated when I get home today. Yeah. And I could be like self-righteous and be like, well, I was doing something worthwhile, but she doesn't care about, she does.
No, but home life, the home life is important. So when you show
so if I get home, when I get home, knowing, because I just asked her, she's like, how's it going? She texted me. That's why I was on the phone.
It's going great,
And I said, oh, yeah, my goal is I'm going to be home between 6 and 6:30. And I was like, she's like, fine. And so I know that she's a little irritated. That's probably later than she thought.
You put her bring her some flowers, bro.
Yeah, but no. But what it is
send her a picture of my mug and be like, it's his fault.
It's his fault.
But what it is I just go and accept the fact that she has a right to be that way, because I did take up home time that normally I'd be home way earlier, and that's okay and it's acceptable. So I can take it on the chin and I can be the thermostat like we talked about.
I mean, thermostat. But here's like another thing. I'm bringing another perspective, bro. Like, to be your best father or husband, one needs to be their best self.
Sure.
Right. So it's like, if you need your guy time or your woman time or your your alone time, motherfuckers. And I know men don't take alone time.
I need that. Yeah.
You need alone time too, motherfuckers.
Sure.
You know, so it's just like you need those times to get rejuvenated, to be breathing again. And then so when you get back, it's like you're at home, you're on mission, man. There's shit to do around the house. Like, there's times to chill and family time to hang out, play some fucking stuff. But like, it's important to take care of oneself too, man.
And that and that makes you better able to not get angry. Because I can get angry, and I don't get angry. You probably never see me angry.
No.
I'm very good at controlling myself when not at home. At home, I let go. Not like let go. I'm just like, I'm honest with how I feel about things. And that's not always good. In fact, sometimes you need to hold back and think about it.
Fuck that. No, I'm just playing. Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
No, but just breathe.
But
it's the way you express it.
What I realize is anger in almost no situation, unless I'm going to like kill someone or like fighting.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
Anger is pretty much useless most of the time.
Anger.
Like unfettered, just like reacting in anger to a situation usually steps you outside of what's really going on.
Yes.
And so and my son kind of reacts in anger sometimes, and I'm like, I've seen that enough to be like, I'm fucking up. Like, he's doing that because I'm and my wife has said that. And so like I've really been active about like not getting, I mean, you use the dad voice, and I
do the same shit, man. It's something that's like,
I gotta step back.
It's just the snapping.
Yeah.
For me, it's the snapping.
What
are you doing, boys? And it's like, they don't, but then I see him do it to my younger son. It's like, oh shit. Yeah. Like, okay, so I need to stop snapping because that carries on to the.
Unless it's like you're sort of trying to like stab. Like he's like, I'm dropping.
But you know, the good point you made about anger. When I took a psychology course on emotions, anger, what they've discovered, or I guess when it comes to science, however they want to say, anger is used to get through an obstacle. Yeah. Right. To do something. It's useful. It's made for a specific thing, and like. Someone's attacking you. Someone's freaking, trying to hurt you. Like those are when
ramps up your adrenaline.
You need that adrenaline type thing to survive and to do that. But it's not made for. You didn't fucking pick up food today, Joseph.
Yeah, it's not. Like, it shouldn't. Your kids aren't obstacles. Your spouse, your friends aren't obstacles. Exactly. That makes a lot of sense.
So it's like that anger is not. You got to use anger.
But they're gonna react because you're. Like they're gonna mirror you.
Exactly.
And then
that's
they're like,
important to.
So if I want my, yeah, they're not obstacles. That's great. I'm gonna remember. That's one of those little things I put in my. You're not an obstacle. I love you. Yeah, it's a relationship.
One thing we talk about, frenemies. My friend or my enemy?
Yeah, right.
How are we talking to each other right now?
Yeah, right. Yeah, makes sense.
So it's good shit, man. Anything? I know you gotta go, bro.
A couple more minutes.
Yeah. So, but how is this process coming out for you? What are you doing now with it? What's going? You're revising it.
So I got through the first. It's 6-7 chapters. Wrote out all of them.
How many chapters is it?
Loosely 7.
Okay.
Loosely, and it's more like chapters with a lot of subheadings.
Yeah.
And I got through 2, and I sent it to my buddy who I know because he's well read, and he gave me some really strong critiques. So before I keep typing it, I'm gonna shift and get that formal, more of a instructive type novel as opposed to a personal story.
Oh, okay.
Because it is a personal story, but he said from what you wrote, and he's right. I'm trying to. I want this book to be instructive to people through my story, not just tell my story. Because if it was just for my kids, I'd just tell my story.
Yeah.
But
you're trying to provide something.
I also want to instruct my kids through my story.
Gotcha.
And that would be for everyone.
Yes.
So that's kind of where I'm at. And he's like, it's probably going to be easier to fix it now than try to fix it after you type the whole thing.
No, for sure.
And I was like, yes. So as it gets more into it, I'll have more of it. And you and Miranda and a few people, I'll probably give you an actual physical copy.
Yeah.
Just so I don't have copies going out everywhere. Cause I don't know. And then you can read it and write on it.
Gotcha.
Ideally, that's really why.
Yeah.
And tell me what you're thinking.
I'm ready.
Yeah, I don't know how. It could take a long time.
No, I know.
But that's the next process is, and probably Mike over there, man. I'll give you a copy too, 'cause I got it, man. If you're willing to read it.
Honestly, I'm around Ronnie a lot, so if I want to write stuff down.
No, I'll give you your own. Man.
Yeah,
yeah. And
I read hella, dude. I hella read.
Hella read, dude.
If it sucks and you're like, this is the most boring. The more perspectives I get, it's good.
No, 100%. I would be definitely down for that.
All right, cool. Yeah, and so then write on it and tell me what you think, and then I'll revise it again. I mean, I've looked in it. I mean, I know as an English teacher, I taught AP. I taught I know what and I taught a class on like getting published in a little bit and writing. The longer and the harder you work before you even take it to someone.
No, for sure.
The better, the more likely, the less times you're going to get rejected because you're still. I think the average is like 5 to 20. Even for like high, until you're like
5 to 20, that's a
rejections.
Big ass gap, bro.
Yeah, but depending,
it's like when you look at Social Blade analytics. You ever go on Social Blade?
No, what's that?
Social Blade is like you can look up people's like YouTubes or Twitches, and it will break down like an estimate of what they make.
Cool.
They're just views and things like that.
Sure.
But like it'll be like his daily average is between $100 and $10,000. It's like what the fuck is that?
You had one good day and that screwed up the whole average.
Well, it's just because they don't know exactly because like some videos will get demonetized, whatever. So, but it's just hilarious.
It's just an interesting thing.
It's like he could be making like a lot of money, or he could be making
5 to 20 is like a big average, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I mean, I'm looking more like it might take 20.
Yeah, do it. That's fine. Yeah.
And that's that's where I'm at, man. I know there's a lot more I would love to talk to you. So we'll get together again. And that's the big thing that I struggle with, and I do want to say, sorry I'm not here more, is that I really feel like I can give more to my family.
You should.
But you're my family too, so it's
we've had plenty of conversations about that, bro. I'm telling you, a fan, but God damn it, Jordan Peterson. Like in my mind. Yeah, but you got to take care of home before you go anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, that's my number one.
You got to take care of yourself first, and then that circle starts getting bigger and bigger. So then you can take care of your family. And, oh, shit, you're taking care of family so that you can help with a little bit more problems. Then you can get a little bit more complicated. Then you can do bigger issues. Like, everyone trying to fucking fix the world, but, like, you're not even cool with your sister, bro.
Yeah, no. Like, who the people you're around the most? Yeah. Probably you should focus on them first.
Or try to get to the people, like how relationships do you currently have before you actually start going out and doing other things? Because are those relationships set up? Are they good? Are they well-oiled? And all the little nitpickies in the culture that you have. Your family is your little experiment, man. And you can create your own culture in there. How do you kiss? How, examples that when for me and my wife is that like when we're out places and either one of us come to meet, one of the things we talked about, we'll kiss everybody else first.
Oh, okay.
The kids and everybody else, and they're the last person. We're each other's last person, so we can
that's cool.
Kiss and embrace for a little bit and connect again.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like little patterns that you keep. What is it that we need, and what is it that we want to do? Because we're here for the people, and we're here for ourselves. But let's create our culture. Let's create our way of being. So
I'll share one thing from my family. Yeah. I have a few like statements that I repeat to my son all the time.
Yeah.
Number one, and my daughter and my wife, she knows them, she hears them.
Yeah.
Like one of them is, Daddy always comes back, because since he started remembering me, when he's 3, I've been gone. Different times.
Schools,
military,
a bunch of
military, primarily.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. School, but
military.
Daddy always comes back, and then the other one is, I love you no matter what.
Yeah, that's good.
No matter what, and then those are the, no matter how mad, and I'll tell him like, no matter how mad I get you, I always will love you.
Yeah, always.
No matter what.
I tell him, you're always welcome at home.
Yeah,
my wife always tells him, I'll pick you up anytime. It don't matter where you're at, where you need. Give me a call.
That's the underlying thing.
There's like no matter what, and I just fuck with them.
Unconditional love.
They always laugh because I make everything into a song. Daddy turns on a song. You're goddamn right. And rule number 1, I fucking love you. And then I have this joke where I always laugh like, when they were little kids and they would like slap me on my back, like that slap, and I'd be like, I'm gonna fucking punch you. Like rule number 156. No slapping on the back. You can punch, but you can't slap.
Yeah, slaps are worse.
You
slap somebody in the face really hard.
Slaps hurt,
bro. They hurt.
Slapped in the face.
They sting.
It leaves them. It leaves a lot longer of a feeling.
It gives you that impulse to like right back. You just want it. You want it to reflect, or I just want to bam, motherfucker, and I'm gonna hit my, you know.
I used to work at this hookah bar, and there was this one guy who would come in all the time, and he would always like he was very nice, tipped really well, like good dude. But man, he like every
Slap you
time
on
he
the back?
saw you, he'd give you the one hand, pull you in, and fucking smack you, dog. And I'd be like, "Oh, what's up, bro?" And like I would be doing spin moves. I'd be doing spin moves trying to get away from this fool, man, because of those back slaps. I felt you when you said that, man. That shit hurts. It does not feel good.
No, man. Well, Joe, I appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Glad we got to hear part of
good.
it. Get here. Once again, I'm grateful that you helped me like start this and gave me a lot of momentum and just someone to be like,
Keep
let's go,
kicking
bro.
you in the ass every once in a while. Don't worry about it. That's how I'm good at that.
Yeah, it's good. Well, I appreciate the shit. Like, I really did. Like, I really appreciate you. And it don't matter you're here or not, man. You really helped me start it. And you gave me a little, like, what I wanted. You gave me a little nudge and be like, yeah, hell yeah, someone's with me. Cool. We did the one, me and Mike, and it's just kind of been flowing, man. So just thank you for being a part of the Spark.
I'm honored.
I appreciate it, man. So when the book comes out, we'll be out again.
Hell yeah.
And we'll have it, and we'll let it know. Joe Stelletello here. Shout out to him. Thank you again, man.
Thanks, brother.
And anything you want to say before we leave?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace out, motherfuckers.
See you guys
Later.